Good evening. Den Keeper checking in with a very special report.
Buzzy Aldrin.
Here with JQ of
JQ,
Fire
baby.
Squad 11.
Always ready.
Good evening. Good evening, world. Good evening, America. Good evening to the galaxy and beyond. We're going to talk about the moon landing hoax. Okay, so look, I'm not like an expert on the moon landing conspiracy. I'm definitely not an expert on how to get to the moon. But I know very damn well that what they're showing us is not true.
It was like, in relation to 7-Eleven job application, it was a sense of country pride versus Russia.
Yeah,
Bullshit
I
story.
think it had to do with Russia
Crazy.
and the
Still to
Cold
this
War and
day,
all of that.
Russia versus US.
I
Crazy,
think
bro.
it's I think it's somewhere in between either we never went,
Never.
all right, we never went, we
Never
can't
went.
get there,
Can't
and we
get
never
there.
went, right?
Can't get there. I'm sorry.
Or we go there all the time, like it's a base or some shit. Like I think it's somewhere in
Well, I like
between
that.
that. It's like
I never ever
either we
thought of
never
that.
went, we got there. I've heard that there were aliens there. I've heard all kind of crazy shit, right?
Independence Day.
So I think that like we just can't go, or they made that shit. Cause I heard this theory that the moon like was not even always there. That like back in ancient stories that you don't really hear about the moon a lot. I've heard that. I've heard that
That's
like you don't really
crazy.
hear about the moon a lot, and
The
that it
Death
kind of
Star.
appears later, and that it might have just like showed up and
You,
maybe had an effect on us and all of that. Like maybe the moon, you know how it like controls the tides and the waters. Maybe for a while, like we were just operating on a different frequency, and then maybe when the moon came, it started moving things and moving molecules in ways that made us just act different. I know how
that's
they say like with the
crazy.
werewolves and all of that. So maybe like the moon is
Wow.
actually a newer thing.
That's
So
crazy.
I
The
don't know.
A full
That's
moon with
it
the
could be that. It could really be that. But like, okay, so not okay. Let's look at the moon, right? Let's really think about the moon, right? So when you look at the moon landing footage, are you I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying the moon footage.
Yo, they had the ill script, or what is it? One giant step for mankind or something like that. What was the quote?
Oh yeah, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But I'm
Legendary
sure it's
though.
something else too. I'm sure there's some type
Let
of like
You
Mandela effect with
can't
that.
deny whoever scripted that quote. That's not a real quote from some dude just thinking of it. No way.
Yo, but they got footage of them playing golf on the moon. Is that real?
Maybe
Come on.
so. Like, my whole thing is like, even Buzz Aldrin, like I mentioned when we first started, it's like there's something about him that's just molded perfect to look like a person that would go an astronaut. You get what I'm saying? It's perfect to the
Yeah, I know what
script.
you mean. Yeah, that's like with that balloon thing that happened and all of that. It's like these generals and these people, they always look exactly like you would expect them to
And
look
his
like.
body language every time he's like pressed about it is off, bro. It's
Yeah.
off. It's very tight and tense. It's not like he'll be nice at the first, but then he gets like, you could tell
Yeah.
he knows something. You could tell from
Yeah.
a mile away that man knows something. He ain't gonna say a word. He's 93, bro. You know why he's 93? Look,
He did the right things.
I swear there's some pictures of him doing that too. I ain't
I
gonna
mean,
look
Buzz
for that, but
Aldrin, like, come on, is that not like the
I was
perfect
gonna
name?
say that name,
Yeah, come
buzzing.
on. Yo,
It's
but
perfect.
okay, Neil Armstrong, Neil A. What's Neil A backwards, bro? Mirror
No,
reality time.
alien,
Mirror reality times. What's Neil A backwards?
alien. That's crazy.
Come on, bro.
That's wild. He
Come
went.
on.
He went after. So we went 3 times.
No, well, okay, okay.
What's the real
We're gonna
story
talk
for it?
about we're gonna talk about like the original moon landing footage with Neil Armstrong. Like
Oh,
they
Buzz
got
went.
him coming down. They got him coming down the ladder, right? They got him coming down the ladder, and you see him the whole small step bullshit, whatever, right? This is, mind you, this is the '60s. Yo, this is the '60s, right? Who's filming that shit?
Thank you, bro.
if we got footage of him, oh, it was. I already know. Yo, people, is people gonna be? There was a satellite. They landed it first. It landed. So you telling me, right? As hard as it was to get to the moon,
Yo,
they landed in the '60s. In the '60s, right? They landed right as hard as it is to get out of Earth and do all of this.
they did it
They got
twice.
something to fly out, and then they dropped it down. So I guess like the spaceship shot like a camera out on something with like an umbrella and a balloon and like a pillow, and it landed right perfectly, perfectly landed. And then the camera came out right in the '60s, right, black and white, and then a spaceship landed without crashing into the camera, right? No debris, no nothing, right? No, right? Oh, they waited, they landed it. How long did they wait? How long did they wait? Right? Right? It doesn't make sense, and it sounds stupid. And all I'm doing is explaining exactly what they tell us, right? So the shit landed, and the camera came out and started recording them, and got him coming down the stairs, and then he's talking. Obviously, they edited that shit because how long? Like, you're not telling me that in real time. He's talking like I'm talking to you right now to some dude over on Earth. But then again, you see, this is when it gets crazier because either it's they have technology that they're not telling us about, or they just can't do this shit. And either way, they're lying. And this is really what we're trying to get to here, that it's like either they had shit back then that we don't that we have now, and I strongly believe that shit because we could go into that. That's going to be another topic, the whole JFK footage and all of that too. But either they had crazy advanced technology back in the '60s to allow them to do this, or they faked it,
Let me tell you
because
something.
there's just no in between.
They have the technology to go 100 times a day, but they're not gonna roll that out. Like Matt had mentioned, and shout out Quantum of Conscious.
Shout out Matt every time, right? We have to.
No, he went over the documentary of the moon and the the up to it, like how they
Yeah,
documented the center, the
yeah,
command center, the launches, the trucks, how they got,
yeah.
bro. It's filmed so HD. It don't look real, bro. I'm sorry.
It's
It
crazy, bro.
looks like a Hollywood movie that just don't have that stamp. And Matt's
And they
right.
control. This is
It
what Matt talks
it's
about too.
impossible back in the day to have that cleared footage, bro. Impossible, bro.
This is what I'm saying. And then it's like they control it. They control it, and they'll make some shit whack just so you could be like, "Oh, the technology is not." You see, this shit makes me laugh. It's like, yo, they put out some shit, and you watch it and be like, "Oh man, look at how shitty these graphics are." And then when you watch the fake shit that they do, you be like, "Oh, that's real."